Okay, so welcome to the first Q&A. So today we're gonna talk about a question that we got from one of our friends. She was asking for sciatica pain as it seems. Now, sciatica pain usually comes from a nerve that runs along the spine, that goes through the butt, and that branches out to the rest of the leg. On this path to the rest of the leg, it can be pinched for different reasons. It can be muscles in the glutes that are tensed and pushing in against this nerve. It can also be bone spurs or discs that are a little bit damaged and herniated, as it calls, that are pushing in. And the discs are sections between our spines. As you know, our spine has different vertebrae like stacks on top. In between we have discs. Pretty much it's like you watering a garden with a watering hose. If you squeeze that hose, it's not going to get as much pressure or as efficient pressure of water flowing through the hose. This is somewhat a similar sensation, which can result in a lot of pain, numbness, heat, cold, burning sensations, and it usually runs along the outside or the back of the thigh. So from the butt, along the back of the thigh to the calf, or along the outside of the leg. So you can get treatments for this. You can get massage treatments, you can go to chiropractor, osteopaths, any manual body worker that can help you with it if you have what we call a false ischias. And a false, in Sweden we call it ischias. And when we call it a false, it's usually because it's something created by the muscles and not by the structures, bone or such a things that's pressing in on the structures. So what we'll do in this video is go through 3 different steps. Step 1 is we will use a ball. It can be a tennis ball, massage ball, lacrosse, bandy, any kind of ball that's hard enough for you to roll on. Could try golf ball. I think they're a little bit too small for this occasion. Feel free to try out. Whatever works for your body is going to be what essentially is good for you. And the purpose is to massage the area, to loosen them up, to loosen the tight spots and areas, even them out so that we can relax. Step number 2 is going to be to stretch, to create a little bit more circulation and work with the fascia, the encapsulating tissue that holds all the muscles, tissues together and directs them in the same direction. And number 3 is going to be to do a little bit of corrective exercises so that you can feel the difference and that you have practical tools to work on for yourself, that you won't be able to have to rely or go somewhere. You have all the tools and resources for yourself to work through this. So step number 1, we're going to locate our piriformis muscle. It's a quite small muscle and you have it on both sides in your glutes. The way that I like to do it is by bringing the outside of my foot over the opposite knee, like this. And from here, I bring my leg up like this. If this is too much, if this already is causing you pain or for some reason the flexibility might not be allowing this, don't worry, we can do it like this as well. So what we want to do is we want to roll or massage the bent knees side, the leg on the bent knee. So from here, I come down on my forearms and I gently lean over, bring the leg up as much as I can. And I'm not gonna be sitting on the ground. I'm actually gonna be leaning my full body weight gently in towards the ball. And I can roll up and down or side to side. If you want some extra support here, a pillow or something like that, feel free to add that. If you want to lie down because it's too much pressure on your shoulder, you can also do that. If you come over a little bit more to one side and we go side to side, up and down. When you find the muscle, it's going to feel similar to the sensation you had before. Sensation of pain running on the outside of your leg or the back of your thigh down to your calf. When you find it, I want you to stay brief and relax for about a minute or so. Now, if you look at a pain threshold of perceived rate of pain, what you perceive is pain. If you use a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest, you don't want this pain to succeed an 8. But it can be quite painful, and your initial reaction can be, this is too much. Try to approach it gently. Connect to your in and exhalations. And gently relax into it. It's going to be resisting in the beginning, but after a while, it's going to relax, and you're going to feel the benefits of it. To come out of it, you gently roll over to your back and remove the ball. Now, while we're on this side, let's do the medial glutes as well. So to do the medial glutes, we simply disengage the leg, straight it out, and we're going to be a little bit more on the side of our butt. So I'm going to lean over lying on my side. Before I was lying like this, my foot was pointing a little bit upwards. Although it was bent, the foot was in this kind of direction. What we're going to do now is going to lean in even more towards the side. And now we can actually be lying and having a little bit of weight or a lot of weight on this thigh and just gently going back and front or up and down. Same thing here. Find those tight areas. I can find one straight away. Breathe through it. If it's too much on your shoulder, elbow, you can also come down and use our arm as a pillow. Breathe. You don't have to stay a minute. You don't have to stay on the same spot. Work through. You might have more than one spot. You might have several spots. And you can do it for longer than a minute. You can do it for 2, 3, or 5 minutes. That's fine too. And just work through the area. You can come a little bit closer to your lower back. So what I'm rolling is, this is my lower back. I can roll all the way to the beginning of the glutes, and I can continue all the way down to almost to the crevice of the glutes. So you can work through the whole side and back of your glute muscles. So we do the same thing for the other side. Bend the leg first. Straighten, cross, bend, lean over to the side, and we roll. If it's too heavy, you can always lie down and come up sideways. We do the same thing. My foot is pointing out, I'm lying more towards the side, and I roll through the whole glutes. I can place, the ball is here now, quite close to my lower back, and now it's a little bit more further down. Roll through the area and really feel the sensation when the muscles relaxes and the tension dissipates. Okay, step number 2, let's stretch the affected muscles that can be troubling for many different reasons. This can be done with a wall. This can be done without a wall, as you see here. I don't have one. So we're going to stretch the piriformis muscle again. So what we'll do this time is we start with the same setup. This leg crosses over the knee. Outside of my foot comes above and on the outside of the knee, like this. From here you might need maybe a towel or strap if you can't reach. If you can reach, bring the opposite knee up, and I want to stretch this side, the bent knee side. So from here you want to produce a stretch that's similar to the sensation you might have on the rolling with the ball, and you want to hold on to it for about 90 seconds. Why 90 seconds? Because after 90 seconds, the fascia starts to release. And the fascia is the encapsulating tissue that holds the muscle. It stores memory, muscle memory. So essentially, after 90 seconds, the structure in the fascia can start to change. So hold it for about 90 seconds. Breathe. If you want, you can use this elbow to press the leg out a little bit. If I push the leg towards me, the stretch will be intenser. If I let it slide away from me, it will be more gentler. Bring the leg down, and we do the same setup for the other side. 90 seconds hold, breathe, and relax. Good. Now from here, what we're gonna do is gonna sit quite wide apart with our legs, and we're gonna rotate over like this. I call this the 90-90. I didn't invent the name. It's been out there for many years. It stands for I had 90 degrees angle in my foot, knee, foot, knee. So 90-90, 90-90. I'm aiming to stretch the butt on this leg, the front leg. So what I want to do here is I want to rotate. So if you feel on the side of your pelvis, your hip bones, you're going to feel like two small crevices. You want to have those two pointing forward. From here, I want to straighten my back, bring my chest up. Imagine that your stomach is going towards the knees, but your upper back is going backwards. So I bring my upper back backwards, and I bring my stomach forward. And this we can do in different angles. I can turn around a little bit more towards this side, or I can turn around a little bit more towards this side. So if you see me from the front, I can be aiming a little bit more here, and I can also be a little bit more here. Chest up, stomach comes down, upper back comes back. Now you might need to adjust it depending on your mobility. Sometimes the knee can be like this, sometimes they can be further away. Look for an angle where you don't feel too much tension here. You might need a pillow underneath the knee. Emphasis is to open up this side. Okay? And lastly, let's work with the hamstrings on this side. So you're gonna interlace your fingers, grab the back of your thigh, slightly below the crevice of the back of your knee. Bring the thigh towards you, and we're gonna keep it here using our hands. So bring the toes so they point upwards, and we're gonna go up and down so we feel a stretch in the hamstrings muscles. Up and down. So this is more of a pumping motion than the static stretches that we did before, where we were just being still and allowing the muscles to open up. So we come up and down, up and down. So the two previous stretches were 90 seconds each side hold, and this will have to be about a minute or two on each leg. You can bring the hand down to different areas of your hamstring, lower or higher up. Up to you where you feel it the most. You do the same thing for the other side. Up and down. If this is uncomfortable for your lower back, you can also bend the knee and have it as a support. You can have a towel underneath your lower back. Coming up and down, up and down. Okay, so from here, we're gonna do some hip extensions. So we're gonna go to step 3, some corrective exercises to engage the muscles. Basically strengthen them a little bit. If they're be tensed and pushed into this nerve, then they're gonna be lacking of oxygen energy. So they're tense, but they're not strong. And if the nerve can't send signals there, it's not gonna be a strong sensation. It's just gonna be like something is clamped up in there. So we want to roll through the muscles with the ball to relax it. We want to stretch to prepare the muscles so they can enter in different angles, and we want to strengthen them a little bit. So place your heels quite close to your butt. We're going to place our weight on our heels. Squeeze your butt cheeks together. Flatten your lower back. If you put your hands underneath your lower back, it's going to be like a little tunnel. So we want to flatten that tunnel. So what I do is I flatten the tunnel, inhale, exhale, gently draw my belly button in, squeeze the glutes, and I come up to activate the glute muscles. I don't go higher than I can feel my butt working. If I go too high, just being too high, then I will start to feel the lower back working, and that's not what we want. Only go to where you feel the butt is working. And you can do this till 10 to 15 reps. So inhale, flatten your low back, belly button comes in as you exhale, squeeze the glute, weight on the heels. You can bend your arms. And you can stand on your shoulders. We do this 1 to 2 sets. So 12 to 15 repetitions, can rest about 30 seconds, and then you can do it one more set if you like to. Step number 2, so this is the big glute muscle we're working on. Step number 2 is going to be the medial glutes. So we're going to bend the underlying leg, or keep it straight, up to whatever feels comfortable for you. You can use this hand as a little bit of support. Make sure your back is straight, that the back of your head, your hip, and your heel are aligned. Place your hand on the ground for support. We're going to be working with the upper side of the glute now. So straighten your leg, pull the toes up, lift it up and down. Don't want to feel it in the lower back. You want to feel it in the butt muscles. So we're coming up and down. You can do this 12 to 15 repetitions on each side. Rest about 30 seconds between the sets if you do more than one set. And we do about 1 to 2 sets of this. Do the same thing on the other side. Over, lie on the side, bent or straight leg, up to you. This hand to support, or you can come down and relax fully. Bring the leg a little bit behind your hip, up and down, up and down. And lastly, if you want a little bonus exercise, we can move the legs down a little bit. Before, when we did the big glute muscles, the heels were close to the buttocks, right? Now we move them a little bit away. They're not fully extended, they're kind of half extended. Flatten your low back, lift your hip up, and we come up and down. 12 to 15 repetitions, 1 to 2 sets, and we can relax 30 seconds in between. So I hope this was useful. Try it out and let me see how it goes. You can do this series of exercises daily or every other day for best effect. The stretch and the rolling you can definitely do daily. If the strengthening exercises are too heavy for you, try to do it every other day and see how it feels. So one day on, rest one day and see how it feels, and then come on the next day. About 3 to 5 times weekly. After about 2 to 3 weeks, you should start to feel a significant difference. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to us and I'll give you further tips and tricks. Thank you.